Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of this week's Dark Avenger comic book review, even though it's the comic books from the week of the 4th. Sorry about the little interruption, but we were at 23 minutes anyway, so we were going to cut out at this book, and it's actually better this way. We have 2 more books, and then we have to finish this book, so we have 3 more books. It'll take a nice amount of time, so it's not like it'll be a tiny part to the episode. Anyway, we were talking about Daredevil 10.1. Let's skip all the formalities. Okay, so as I was saying, Black Spectre sends somebody after Matt Murdock because they all still believe Matt Murdock is Daredevil. And he is, but he wants the world to believe he's not. So he's faking that he's not Daredevil. So he sends this guy called Pyromania after him. In the beginning of the issue, Matt Murdock is defending Pyromania because he's claiming it's unfair. It's kind of like torture the way they're holding him in prison, because they have this thing that goes off that keeps him from thinking, so he can't make fire, because apparently this guy with his mind can make fire, and he can't take it. It's like torture. So Matt Murdock's going to defend him, and then throughout the conversation Matt Murdock is saying, well, tell me how you came to be imprisoned in the first place. And it's the whole story about him versus Daredevil and how he got caught. Read the book. It's really awesome. Daredevil has not disappointed me yet. That's why I got Daredevil Season 1, which you guys will be seeing in the next issue. I'm not reviewing it, but I'll show the book. And long story short, he finds out who sent, Matt Murdock finds out who sent him. And then the guy attacks Matt Murdock. He takes him out. So now Matt Murdock knows who sent Pyromania after him. He finds out. And it's Black Spectre. So the 5 of them are all talking. It's now jumping to the next part of the book where the 5 of them are talking about what they're going to do next. They're all still arguing over what's going to happen. Daredevil just breaks in and says, make up a plan already. For God's sakes, it's been 2-3 weeks? By now I was expecting something. And then he rats out Black Spectre and says that he sent somebody after Matt Murdock for the drive. And then he explains that he used the drive to completely wipe out Black Spectre. So basically, all the people that were in prison, all the illegal stuff they were doing, all the gun runs and whatnot, all of it was revealed through the Omega Drive. And he threatens all of them. He says, if any of you guys come after me individually again, this is going to happen to you. So he tells Black Spectre, well, you're out of work, Black Spectre. Good luck. And yeah, I feel bad for what happens to him next. All leading into the next story arc, the Omega Effect. I have Avenging Spider-Man. That's this week's comic. I can't wait to read it. I haven't read it yet. It then continues the week after in Punisher number 10. Can't wait for that. And then the week after that, all concludes in Daredevil 11. So we're getting rid of the Omega Drive. It's breaking away. After the Omega Drive story is gone, we have no more connection to the beginning of the Daredevil series, and it just moves forward from there. And Daredevil's been going super strong. This is already issue 10. I know it's a very short, it's only been like almost a year, but dude, what a year. Awesome. Awesome series. Awesome. And like I said, it got me to get season 1, and I've read through a lot of season 1. Man, have I been wrong about buying Daredevil. Well, maybe the newer series is better, and you know, maybe back then I wouldn't have liked it, or the writing back then, so I'm not going to pass judgment on Daredevil back then, but I should have grabbed Daredevil number 1 when it came out. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man 683. They go to the, when you're done scanning, I'll show. This was the issue 1. The issue 1. The last issue, as I said, was more of a prequel. By the way, here's the variant cover for those of you who are keeping track of the villain variant covers. Doc Ock sets his plan into motion. It turns out that the Avengers go to the emergency GH summit, where they're all discussing whether to do or not do what Doc Ock is asking of them. And it turns out inside there was an inside man. It was a chameleon. Who didn't see that coming? Had Al Gore. Al Gore of all people. That was kind of funny when it turned out he was disguised as Al Gore, and he locked him in a closet. But anyway, the Avengers and Spidey are, this was all a plan of theirs. Doc Ock decides to teach everybody a lesson by doing that thing he did in the first issue where he sets the sun's rays to hurt everyone. And they can't track him though. J. Jonah Jameson actually shuts down Horizon Labs thinking it's their fault, And until everything's settled, Horizon Labs is in pitch black darkness. Also, Doc Ock mentioned a few things, and then he says, I'll give you 24 hours to decide what you're going to do. And then, yeah. And his last request, of course, was for them to release Chameleon, which they do. And Chameleon's an idiot. He doesn't think to look on himself. You think he was Spider-Man's enemy for how many years now? You'd think he'd know to check for spider trackers. So, then the rest of the book is all Sinister Six versus the Avengers. And I don't want to give too much away, but as always, this is only part 2, so you know evil has to come out a little bit on top. And to be continued in the next issue. And in the next issue, I hear Doc Ock is going to reveal his true plan, what his real plan is. And we all know it's because Doc Ock is dying. He has what? 1-2 months left to his life, and that's giving him a lot. So the question is, what does Doc Ock want to do with that time, and how does he want to? We all know he wants to beat Spider-Man. He wants to destroy Spider-Man. That has to be his main goal. But what else does Doc Ock want before he dies? We'll find out in the next issue. I'm loving this series. And for those of you who are worried about this being the permanent Spidey suit, relax. It's just for the series. Probably by the end of this series, this costume will be gone and he'll be back in his original Spidey suit. Relax. It's not a permanent. Now, as I was saying, Swamp Thing was Book of the Week for DC. But not Book of the Week in whole. Because Marvel has a Book of the Week. Has Book of the Week. And has a big event that started this week. And I don't know how this happened. But apparently I accidentally stuck a copy with a different cover in my stack for this week. For those of you who don't know, I'm talking about Avengers Versus X-Men. And I'm not talking about this cover. This is the X-Men side. I'm talking about this cover, the Avengers side. Each one has like several different covers. And then they have the I'm with the Avengers, or in this case, I'm with the X-Men, where the Avengers are black and white and the X-Men are colored in. And then on mine, this is the one I ordered, the Avengers are colored in and the X-Men are black and white. I'm going to be doing the variant covers. I don't care that I can't see the AR on the cover. It's not a big deal for me. I'm going to be getting mostly the Avengers side. And for those of you who are going to ask me for the code in this book, it's too late. I already shared the code with a friend. So the code's gone. And the code in this book has been used already on my account. So there is no code left for Avengers vs. X-Men. Just letting you guys know that before you ask. I have my own account now at Marvel.com. I'm keeping all my digital copies, so this way if I ever want to read it on my iPod Touch, if I'm that crazy, whatever, because, yeah. So, Avengers vs. X-Men 1. You didn't need to read Avengers vs. X-Men 0 to be caught up to what's going on here. This book, before we get into the story, introduces 2 new things. First thing, as you can see on certain pictures, is AR. For those of you who have an iPad, a Droid, or a device that has iOS and is sponsored by the Marvel, by apps, you could download this new app that Marvel just made. It's called Marvel AR. And they're going to be putting these ARs in comic books, major events probably. And you can take your camera and look at the page where it says AR, and you get a little tidbit. Most of it is sketch to ink to color. Most of it. Some of them, like this page, have little extras, like where Brian Michael Bendis is talking. See, I don't like it though because it ruins the artwork. I know it's a tiny piece, it's a tiny square. It's not really a big deal. I mean, it's on what? Black Widow's hip? But at the same time, just tell us what pages they are in the beginning of the book right here. And then we'll go to those pages and we'll just scan it. Or make it like a mystery. You got to bring the AR all throughout the book to find the hidden ARs. That works for me. See, in this case, I don't care. In the black, who cares? It's black. I don't care. Leave it there. But in other cases, I don't like that it ruins certain pieces of artwork. Like for here, this was a perfect picture. But we'll get to the picture now. Also, this introduces Marvel Infinite Comics. The first Infinite comic is of Nova. How he got to Earth and how he was being chased by the Phoenix Force. Not a nice way to introduce Infinite Comics, but once again, it has to start somewhere. Everything starts off and then either it takes off or it crashes. So hopefully it'll take off. It's 99 cents. if you bought this book, you don't have to buy it like I did without knowing, because I bought it before I got my comics in the mail, and I'm going to wait next time before I do that to see if I get it for free. So, in the book, the Avengers meet up with Nova. That's how the book starts. And Nova's telling them something's coming. They don't know what yet. Then it goes to the X-Men, where Cyclops is training Hope. For what? She doesn't know. But then this happens. And even Magneto saying, gee, your boyfriend is kind of pushing Hope a bit hard, don't you think? And she could tell. So we all know he's training her for the Phoenix Force. He has to know it's coming. So then the Avengers go to the White House and explain to them that Nova came crashing down to Earth, the Phoenix is coming, da-da-da-da. And he goes to Wolverine and asks Wolverine for help. Wolverine says, I just got the school open. I really don't want to get involved much. And yeah, so Cap can't count on Wolverine for now. And Cyclops finds out that the Phoenix Force is coming, and he's completely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He thinks this is going to save mutant kind. Cap and Cyclops have the discussion. This is where the book takes off. The whole book from that point back was all setting up for this moment. This moment right here. These 2 pages where Cap's like, we have to take Hope into custody because Hope is the vessel. We believe. None of them are 100% sure, and this is where it's going to come back and bite somebody in the ass, I think, because we were talking about this during Avenger Cast also. They think it's going to be Hope, but what? Even though Hope's been showing the Phoenix, what if it isn't Hope? Everybody thinks it's Hope, and Cyclops is like, we're going to keep her. We want the Phoenix to join her. This could be mutant kind's last hope. She can actually save mutant kind. This will help bring us back. And Cap's like, you're too deep, you know, we need to take her into custody. This could be bad for the entire planet, not just mutant kind, but the humans, everybody. And then Sykes bring up, where were you guys when we needed you? And he's like, we could have this discussion a different day. Right now I'm here respecting you and asking you, we need Hope, and we have to take her into custody. And then the last words out of Sykes' mouth is, respectfully get the hell off my island. And then Cap's like, you understand, I wasn't asking. And then Sykes goes, I understand completely. And then that is where the gauntlet is thrown down. And I want you guys to understand one thing. Cyclops made the first act of aggression, not Cap. Cap showed up on the island. I mean, yeah, he said he wasn't going to leave, and Emma's pissed off that he did that also. But he wasn't going to leave, but yeah. He gets taken down, Avengers assemble, and Emma takes Hope and protects her, and here we go. Avengers Versus X-Men. Next issue. This book held no punches. This book held 0 punches, and then you get a little listing, but you get that in all your Marvel books now, of all the books that are going to be involved with Avengers vs. X-Men. This book held no punches. Granted, there was no fight. No actual Avenger vs. X-Men in this book. But this book made damn sure to make everybody know, by the time you finished reading this, the last page, that this was the only book that was going to be peaceful. Now, a lot of people are predicting eventually the Phoenix will come to Earth, and Avengers are gonna end up teaming up with the X-Men because the Phoenix Force is gonna do something bad. It's gonna hurt everybody, so they're gonna end up teaming up. Or the Avengers and X-Men are gonna keep fighting until the Phoenix Force comes, and then the Phoenix is gonna fight both sides, and it's gonna be a triple threat kind of thing. We don't know what these writers have in mind, but apparently, everybody who's attached to this project, everybody who's been working on this project, is working. They're not divulging nearly enough information for us to even have an inkling of what's going to happen next. And the Versus comic, I'm looking forward to. Michael's going to be reading that mostly, and I hope by the time they're coming out this month. I don't know. Well, hopefully by the time issue 3 comes, Mike will be done with college. He'll be back on the reviews, because everybody's been asking for him to, you did the vote, Mike, and everybody said they'd rather you not do it monthly, you do it week by week. Because it confused. A few people said I had to go back and forth through weeks because I missed this because Mike didn't do it this week or whatever. So hopefully by the time Versus gets to a head, the weekly reviews will have everything back on track. This book is Book of the Week, Event of the Year. This is Event of the Year, people. this actually put Marvel on top for the month of March. Issue 0. Issue 1 and 2 is definitely going to be in the top 10. I will not be doing the X-Men and Avengers covers. This was a mistake, once again. I'm only going to be sticking with the Avengers side. I don't care if I don't get the regular cover. I want to have the AR on the cover. Oh, boo-hoo. I don't even use the AR much anyway. To be honest, I buy the comics to read the comics. The AR is something extra that maybe a month or two from now, down the road, maybe when Avengers Versus X-Men's done, I'll take all 12 issues and put them out on the table and go through each of the 12 and look through the AR if I'm not, if I'm not interested in what the AR has for each of these books. But other than that, introduces AR, introduces digital, first digital only comics, the Infinite comics from Marvel, and it's Avengers Versus X-Men. This is a big thing, guys. For those of you who are into the big two, especially Marvel, this is a book you should check out. For those of you who are into DC, you're not going to care, obviously. But this is big. This event was huge, and this is going. If it's written right, because this is the first issue, you can never judge an entire series by its first issue. If this is written right, which first issue was, it could be a blowout series. If written right. If written wrong, it could do exactly what Fear itself did in issue 3. Go up and then go down and crash. Somebody might die in this series. Somebody might lose status in this series, like Wolverine's dead middle. You know it besides with the Avengers, the X-Men are never going to look at him the same again. And if besides with the X-Men, he's going to be thrown out of the new Avengers. So this is going to have ramifications on a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to seeing what exactly is going to happen next. I will be getting as many tie-ins as humanly possible, whatever I've been reading. I'm not going to go above and beyond to get like Avengers Academy or anything. But I will be getting, I do have the Avengers titles. I might get the Uncanny X-Men just to see Cyclops get his butt handed to him a couple of million times. But other than that, I'm not going to go above and beyond and buy everything, because there's going to be too much connected to Avengers vs. X-Men. And even though I dropped a lot of DC books, I don't want to pick up $3.99 books just to get little side stories here, there, and everywhere. So I'm going to be sticking with this versus the X-Men, the main X-Men titles, and the main Avenger titles, looking over Avengers Academy, and yeah. And hopefully the series is going to go as well as the first issue did. And guys, that's it for the week of the 4th. I am officially caught up. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have my other review done, read, and shot, and we'll be back on track. Spring break sure has been fun. Hope you guys enjoy the HeroClix brick break that I did. Got Dormammu and the Watcher in the background here. Got a lot of comics coming in 2 weeks also, but we'll talk about in the next issue, the next episode that. Avengers vs. X-Men 1. Highly, highly recommend it. Check it out. It's going to be event of the year. Amazing Spider-Man 683. This felt like the first issue of Ends of the Earth, finally. Daredevil 10.1 sets up the Omega Effect. If you're reading one of the 3 books I mentioned, you might want to check this out. Daredevil is awesome, the series itself. I would highly recommend checking out Daredevil. This really doesn't set up, like, catch you up to what's been going on as much as it sets up for the next story arc. Wolverine and the X-Men number 8. I'm still getting used to Bocello's artwork. I really hope he leaves Wolverine and the X-Men soon, because it's just not my type of artwork, but I love the series. The story's really good. Check it out. Wolverine and the X-Men Alpha Omega 4 or 5. I pray that by the end of this series, Wolverine comes out with his memories intact. Up to you guys, but it's up to issue 4. You might as well just wait for the trade paperback. Decided to pick up Red Hulk again. Red Hulk, Hulk, issue 50. Pretty good, I'd say check it out. It has guest appearances from all over the spectrum. Venom 15, Enter the Secret Avengers. This is a summing up what's going to go on with Venom, that he's not part of the Secret Avengers. I leave it up to you guys. Swamp Thing, issue 8, book of the week from DC, but not book of the entire week. Pretty good. Animal Man, issue 8 was pretty good as well. JLI, really good. Issue 8, really good. I'm sticking with Justice League International. Red Lanterns, issue 8, I'm done. Goodbye. Took me 8 issues. I know I lasted longer than most, but I'm done. Hell Yeah, issue 2 was awesome. Manhattan Project number 1 was pretty good. I'll be coming back for issue 2. I would highly recommend this. Infestation 2, 30 Days a Night. If you're a person that can miss certain things, you don't need this. I'm a completionist. This is the issue right before last. I figured I'd grab it. Not really a highly recommended book. Ferris number 2 was awesome. And Voltron Year 1, issue 1. Pretty good also. If you're a Voltron fan, you'll be checking it out. If you're not, then I have no idea why you'd even look at that book. But it's still good. I would highly recommend it for the story alone. But anyway, this was the week of the 4th. I'm Chris, your Dark Avenger. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with the books from this week, and we'll be back up to date with everything. I'm still working on the descriptions, building up the... I'm moving up slowly, but I'll have all the descriptions done soon for all my other Avenger, Dark Avenger reviews. And yes, there is more clicks coming, more this, more that. We'll talk about in the next issue, in the next episode though, because this is just to catch you guys up on books that I missed from 2 weeks ago. See you guys in the next episode. Keep reading, keep collecting. Avengers Versus X-men is finally here. Get this book. And yeah, see you guys in the next comic review or next video, whatever comes first. Take care, everybody.